Good. How are you?
Okay. So, welcome to Conversations about Courage. First, can you just introduce yourself?
Yeah. So in English, my first name and last name is Genesis Capellan. In Spanish, it is pronounced Genesis Capellan. I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Cool. What part?
From Santiago and San Francisco de Macorís. So El Cibao for my people who know. So I was born in Manhattan, and I grew up in Englewood, New Jersey, which is a town in Bergen County. It is right on the edge, so super close to the city. So I kind of grew up back and forth between New York and New Jersey. What I honor most about my heritage and background would be the experiences that I have lived up until this day. I grew up in a very diverse community, so I got to experience all of my identities that pertain to me. I grew up with Spanish and English sort of as my first language, and then speaking both of them in my household and then in school is something that really played into my identity as well. I've gotten a good sense of what it is to be American and what it is to be Dominican, which I know a lot of people may not have that kind of experience, so I feel very blessed to feel very comfortable in both of those identities. So that is something I honor. So I do have some photos. There are photos of people in my family, people that I love. This is my paternal grandfather. His name is Roberto. This is my mother, her name is Nicaulis, and her mother, Aurora. This is my maternal grandfather, his name is Andres, or was Andres. This is my father, Homero, and I, my cousin Diana. And the last photo is my paternal grandmother, and her name is Teofila. So these are my immediate family. I also have a brother, his name is Isaac, but he's not in my photos because he doesn't really like to be in pictures that often. But yes, these are the people that I brought with me. They mean love, they mean family, they mean caring, they mean support. All of the positive stuff in the world, the good stuff in the world, that's what they mean to me, which is why I brought them, because they're my support and my heart even when none of them are present. They've taught me a lot. They've taught me how to survive. They've taught me that the world isn't pretty, but we just gotta keep pushing and keep moving forward. I feel like one of the greatest things that I have been taught is my faith in God and not letting go of that no matter what happens. Really big part of our family, our faith, our Christianity. So yeah, among a lot of things that I've learned. So the mirror itself isn't anything incredibly important, but it's a message that I'm bringing with this, which is that I've always had this history of insecurity, and over the past few years, I've really gotten to connect with my family on a deep level. And something that I've learned from these connections and these conversations that I've had with my family is that I come from a line of people, and that it's important to remember that. And in some way, that kind of helped me get rid of any insecurities that I did have, because every time I get up in the morning and I look at myself in the mirror right before I brush my teeth, or when I take a picture with my phone, what I'm seeing is no longer just my face. I'm seeing a product of the history of the people who lived before me, which is a huge part of my identity. So that's why I brought this mirror, because it's super important and it keeps me going every day just thinking about my family when I look at myself. What I wish to remember would be all of the good and the bad times that I've experienced. I saw and heard a lot of really bad things, as we all did. But I also went through really amazing things, and I was given a space and an opportunity in my own home to just relax and be creative and catch up on schoolwork and put myself in leadership positions. So all of the moments where I've cried and all the moments where I laughed and felt joyous, I want to remember all of it and not disregard any of it, because it has all fed into the person I am today. So I brought this Bible as a healing artifact because it represents my faith and the trials and the faith building that I went through during COVID. It was the moment when I really started to increase my prayer life. I was no longer focused on praying for myself, but I was really praying for other people, for my community, for even strangers that I didn't know. And since then, I still try to do the same thing. And so this represents healing for me because it reminds me that God is always there for me no matter what. And I do have this opened up to a passage because it was a passage that kind of helps explain what I feel. And it's in the book of John, chapter 14, verse 16. And it says, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper who will stay with you forever. He is the Spirit who reveals the truth about God. In other versions, the helper is also called the advocate, which that was the word that originally struck out to me because it was a reminder that I have an advocate on this planet, which is the Holy Spirit. So it's a huge message and a huge part of my life that I keep it here forever and always. A myth that has died for me during the 2020 experience was that you have to be well knowledge and well versed and well experienced in order to succeed or get started in your passion. So I say that because a lot of people, myself included, tend to think that we need to have all of this experience before we get started with something. But I think during 2020, when I had all of this time and I was stuck in my house, I was given the opportunity to practice my hobbies and practice things that I normally never give myself the time for. And including, not only was I doing that, but I saw that everyone else around me was doing that. Those who were fortunate to do that started doing their hobbies, started drawing, painting, video editing, singing, dancing, working out from their homes. And what I've noticed is that people just were doing things that they love to do. And then moving forward, a lot of people started opening up their own local businesses, creating social media pages for their own crafts and stuff like that. And prior to 2020, I didn't see any of that happening. And it even encouraged me to put more of myself out there and not be so shy and hide, just in the shadows. So definitely a myth is that you have to be good at something to do it. Nah, just do it. Just do it. So this is the letter that I wrote. This letter is for you. You have lived this far in your life. You have seen things. You have felt things. You are here right now. And for that, I am glad. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being present. You are a gift to this world. You were beautifully crafted by God and made by the ancestors that came before you. Your life has purpose. I can tell you that because you are here today reading this. And you will do amazing things in life. I know it. I will pray for you. Yes, I am serious. Please know that from now on, you have someone who is acknowledging you before God, the God. Keep going and keep living. I love you. G. So I decided to write a song. I did a lot of reflecting this past week, especially about everything that we've been talking about. And so I wrote a song about inheritance and about valuing the generations before us. I've always said that that it's amazing when we go out and we talk to the elderly and we just hear their stories because they have so much to say and they're not going to be here forever. And one day we're going to be the ones to grow up and become the elderly ourselves if we're blessed enough to live that far. And so I wrote a song about that. It is in Spanish because I wanted to connect really deep into my roots and sing a song in the mother language of everyone who came before me and my family, at least in the past generations. And so yes, the song is in Spanish and hopefully you guys can still resonate with it. It's called A Song of Remembrance.
Cómo pasan los años de uno a otro, cómo crecen los niños entre muchos y pocos, cómo cambia la tierra, naturaleza envejece, cómo cambia el idioma tradiciones fallecen, como cambia herencias que la vida ofrece. Pero la vida sigue y sigue y sigue y sigue y sigue. Los ancianos desaparecen poco a poco cada vez que pasa el tiempo día tras día, mientras los niños crecían y los jóvenes aprenden a valorar los recuerdos e historias y cuentos que cantaron los ancianos. Adiós, yo le doy la gracia porque me han dejado cuentos, costumbres, creencias de los años, de los décadas, de los siglos, basada en las vidas anteriores, los que llegaron a la tierra antes que yo.